Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. GF of half a year cheating? Well, here it goes. We have been together for 6 months now, seeing each other every other day and spending every weekend together. We have also known each other for about 7 years but never really talked, just friends of friends. So things with her hit very hard and very fast. The first few months were like heaven. But slowly I started to learn more about her and her past relationships. When we got together, she just got out of a high school sweetheart relationship, something like 10 years. They have broken up countless times and both seen other people between the breakups. She told me that the last time they were together, about a year ago, she caught him cheating. She said it was over between them, but here's the thing. She still lives with him. We got in a fight a few days ago and I contacted him, asking if they were still together. He responded, "Yeah, she's still my fiancée." Why? So I told him I've been dating her for 6 months and he blocked me. Was it a stupid thing to do? Yes, but I got sick of knowing that her nasty cheating ex gets to see her every day. Who knows what they do behind the scenes? So after that convo I brought it up to her. She replied that he probably doesn't know that it's over. And that was the last time we talked. Since then she hasn't responded to TXTs or calls in a few days. I guess I was just a fling to validate her looks and personality while she tried to cope with her gaslighting Stockholm Syndrome fiancé. I love her and she constantly reassures me that nothing is going on between them and she can't break the lease. But why would she have to keep her ex in her life? Also, about 2 months ago she was about to leave and I noticed her phone was blowing up. Turns out it's her ex spam calling her like 10 times. I was tempted to pick it up but I just let it go. I brought it up later and her response was he wanted her to come back and make him breakfast. She said that she no longer makes him food and they just live together. This all seems super fishy, but I'm ignoring all these red flags because I thought she was an honest person. Should I trust her or not? It's kinda hard to when her ex still plays a major role in her life. Another thing too is she's been cheated on by him so much that she has a huge paranoia of me cheating on her, to the point of her checking everything on my phone, and telling me not to be nice to my female roommate because she thinks being nice is a weird interaction between us. So I showed her my phone. I was like, okay, that's fine, I don't mind showing you since I have nothing to hide. I asked to look at hers but she refused and hasn't let me look at her phone once in 6 months. Now I'm starting to see things clearly, but I am also doubting myself. I mean, it all makes too much sense that I was an emotional rebound while she tried to deal with being cheated on for another time. This is all just so rough and I feel sick to my stomach thinking about them being in the same house. I'd if I should end it or if she already ended it. Either way it hurts and this is a very messed up relationship and it's not what I signed up for. I think you were having an affair all this time. The guy who lives with her is the boyfriend. I am sorry that happened to you. Now, block her and move on. You deserve someone who wouldn't date 2 people at the same time. Yes. I was just a fling to validate her looks and personality. Yes, that is correct. She is clearly useless, and you need to gain some respect for yourself and your time. Don't allow women, or men, to treat you like shit. Go to the gym, learn martial arts, set a hard goal and obtain it, and you will attract a much better caliber of woman. Once you gain enough confidence, you won't give a shit, and that is true power. I say good riddance. She was using you to get back at him for cheating. In other words, you were the side dude. Send her a message saying you don't appreciate being played and to not worry about contacting you back. Then block her on everything and let your friend group know what happened so she can't spin the narrative making you out to look like the bad guy. Do this just before you message her or right after you block her by sending a group message everyone just saying you found out she was still with her so-called ex so you broke up with her. From what you wrote here, your name Total Car 268 should be Total Stupid 268 if you stay with her. I'm not surprised you are doubting yourself. Having been clueless for so long would leave one feeling like a flash of common sense was weird indeed. Yes, your girlfriend is cheating on her fiancé with you. You'd be really naive to believe anything she has told you. The sob story about her ex cheating is certainly bullshit. You have to see that. A complete fabrication. If anything, she is describing her own behavior. She's not paranoid of you cheating because she's been cheated on. She's paranoid of you cheating because she is a cheater. Nothing she has ever said to you has come from an honest place. Wake the duck up, dude. You're both being played. It's a sad thing. Cut your losses, if there even is any. She doesn't respect you. They clearly don't respect each other. Seems all like some big game. There's somebody out there for you for sure. It's certainly just not them. Oh dear. She was never your GF. You are her revenge side hoe. Or was. Best to forget her like you never met. Use spyware to track her every movement. She lives with the guy. Has not mentioned moving out. You are being played. Go no contact. You already know the answer. Husband and partner of 21 years cheated, completely out of left field. Need support. I tried to post with a new alt account to have some anonymity because my spouse knows my main account. Apparently that is verboten, so I guess I'll just have to post with my main, and if he reads it, oh well. Suppose I really don't care anyway. My husband and I have been together for over 20 years. Recently we went on a big anniversary vacation. I got sick during the vacation. At the end of the vacation on the way home he told me he thought I was sick because he might have given me an STD. He admitted to cheating twice in the past 4 months with random couples he met online. He was quite obsessed for a while with having a three-way. I didn't want to for several reasons. A few of those reasons being it just wasn't something I particularly wanted, and I was a little worried that if I personally enjoyed it too much that he would be hurt. I didn't think it was a reasonable thing to really expect me to do if I didn't want to. Our sex life was still active considering how long we've been together. I loved giving oral 3 to 4 times a week, and we had sex usually at least once a week, usually more so. By no means a dead bedroom. Anyway, I didn't really want to do it, so I said no. He brought it up many times but I just didn't want to. Honestly, it also sort of felt like it would be cheating for me since he wanted to basically have a three-way with the woman in the middle. At some point while I was out of town for sports with the kids, he just did it. Got online, found a couple and did it. Apparently it didn't go well the first time, so then he did it again. That wasn't great either, so he decided to not do it again and realized he just wanted to be with me. He didn't plan to tell me, but when I started getting sick he was really worried because assume of those STDs going untreated can be nasty, and I guess feeling at least somewhat guilty at that point, so he told me. That's all what he told me anyway. I don't trust him at this point, no clue if he's being honest. I'm extremely destroyed by this, as one might imagine. 20 faithful years and then my husband does this and didn't even do the bare minimum courtesy of, wearing a condom, I guess. He seems remorseful. He says he loves me and wants to work things out. I was extremely happy before, for the most part. But I just don't know what to do here. This situation just seems grossly unfair. It's great that he got to try this three-way but now wants to still have his marriage. Feels a bit like having his cake and eating it too. I'm wrecked and I simultaneously love and hate him. I oscillate between wanting revenge and wanting to be the better person. I want to run out and hurt him the way he hurt me, but today at our kids' sports game I couldn't even let him get a sunburn. How could I hurt him like that? How could he hurt me like that? Did we have some issues before? Yes. I asked repeatedly for couples counseling and he refused. Now he's begging for couples counseling. I pointed out that had he been willing to do it before, we might not be here now. I don't know what I want. It seems like the lion's share of work to get over this mess would be on me, since I would have to eventually forgive him for this and learn to trust him again. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I want to. I went from lusting after him to being disgusted by him in the blink of an eye. I feel so disgusted and broken. Edit, I wanted to add that he fully admits he was wrong. Has no clear reasoning as to why he did it other than that he's stupid, his words, not mine. Well, okay, mine too, but he said it first. He isn't arguing or justifying his actions at all. He wants to reconcile. I don't know what to make of it. I feel used and discarded. Like my only worth was sex, and when I didn't do what he wanted, oh well, just do it anyway, to heck with that faithful wife of 20 years. I don't know if I can ever forgive him or feel even remotely the same way about him again. In the meantime, I'm losing my mind. We still live together, we have 2 teenagers. He is sleeping on the couch. I'm extremely depressed, distraught and quite irrational. He keeps trying to get me to do things like go for walks or take me to the movies, but I'm torn. I don't want to do anything that might make him happy or give him, or me, hope right now. You need time and space to process. You don't need couples counseling. You both need you to help heal and him to figure out where he's broken. If possible, have him stay somewhere else for a week or 2. Read. Tell him it's on him to do the work to reconcile, detailed timeline, whole truth, polygraph. You take the time to talk to an attorney, understand what a divorce would look like for you if it happens. Don't sleep with him. Most here recommend you serve him with divorce papers while he does the work to reconcile. It's all on your terms and your healing. You can withdraw the divorce petition, but it's the first action you can take to demonstrate that you're serious and actions have consequences. Best of luck to you. I don't think that serving divorce papers right off the bat will help. He's very black and white, and I think he would just assume that's absolutely what I want and then just sign them to save me further trouble. He's aware that he's caused me a lot of pain, and he would just sign them to let me be free and start a new life. I may not believe his story exactly, but I do believe that he knows he screwed the pooch and effed up royalty. I believe he does want to stay with me. I believe he doesn't wish to hurt me further and will go along with a divorce to keep it amicable for the kids if that's what I choose, or spend years trying to reconcile if that's what I want. I'm just not sure how I feel. He spent about 2 hours destroying a 21-year relationship. I'm not sure I want to stay with someone who did that. He's aware I very well might divorce him. He isn't even attempting to justify. He admits he effed up, he admits he did a stupid thing, he's argued with me close to zero amount. He lays zero blame on me and says it's entirely his fault, and understands that it's up to him to try to prove he's trustworthy and that he loves me, but seems to understand that my job in this is harder in that I can't just change my heart. He may very well jump through every hoop, and at the end of the day I might not be able to get there, and that's just really, really sad. Obviously not going to sleep with him anytime soon. That might literally make me vomit. But I'm a very sexual person. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do there. Sure, I can take care of myself, but the lack of human contact is already killing me, and it's only been less than a week since I found out. I'm just trying to be honest here. I know that sounds a little gross, but whatever. I would never ever have cheated on him before, but this might be the one situation where I might actually tempted, because in the meantime, I got nothing but a bucket full of sad and loneliness. That would just come across as revenge though, so I guess I don't get to make mistakes. He just gets to make his, and then I have to suck it up and forgive him eventually. There's no place for him to go. All of our friends are ours, and I don't want to advertise our issues unless we actually divorce. I don't want them thinking I'm a pushover or a doormat if I manage to forgive him. Let's be real, that's exactly what I would think. He offered to try to go stay at our friend's, but I didn't want the friend to know. I didn't want him in a hotel either, because I'm now extremely insecure. I never was before. I was the kind of wife who trusted implicitly. Happy hour after work? Okay. Going to Cleveland to visit online friends from a game? No problem. Traveling for work? Okay. Just text me and let me know when you get there. Now? I'm not sure how I can go to my kid's sports tournament or camp with my scouts again without wondering what he's doing. So the relationship was already failing, so much so that you were begging for couples counseling, and instead he selfishly focused on his own needs and lies and cheats on you to get what he wants. Nope. If y'all were struggling with communication before this, then the Berlin Wall sits between you two now, and no amount of couples counseling will knock it down. This marriage is over. You may have not come to terms with it, but you can't get back what you had. Your STBXH isn't who you thought he was. He isn't capable of change. That is clear now. So you can either stay in this now loveless, unhappy marriage, or you can choose to love yourself and focus on healing and healthier relationships. This relationship just wasn't healthy. That's more or less exactly how part of me feels about the situation. I'd like to think this is salvageable though. He's very willing to go now. In spades. It's possible something good could come out of it, I guess, although most of me wants absolutely nothing good to come of it, because that would justify his bad behavior. If you were struggling before, it won't get easier. You can't even begin to tackle the issues you had before because of this huge elephant in the room of his infidelity. Many couples like you attempt reconciliation and most fail. Just be sure you are advocating for your needs and focus on your happiness here. You deserve love and mutual respect, and can find it again away from such a terrible partner. Be honest when you recognize that reconciliation is failing, that it is time for you to move on. I hope you find the peace you deserve. Being honest here, you're never going to forget this, and you're going to have trust issues. He did what he did behind your back to you and your kids. He has to deal with the consequences. Adults can't act like that. Good people can't act like that. You deserve to move on. Hey op, this isn't the typical post, but it would probably be worth looking into saving the marriage. At the end of the day, it's your decision, but therapy and counseling is a good start. If your husband continues to be honest, it might work out. Just hear him out and see where it leads. Maybe it will be too much for you, and that's okay as well. Sometimes people have sexual things they want to try out, and after being married for so long it's hard to break the mold, so people go looking elsewhere to try. I'm not an expert in this, but a sexual therapist seems like a good start. I totally agree that logically it's worth saving. But I just don't know if I have it in me, and that's exactly what I told him. I'll give it a shot, but at the end of the day I really can't control whether or not I can forgive this, or at least learn to live with it. Either way, I come out the end not as good of a person as I was. I'm going to be a kiss good person because I was very trusting and loving and thoughtful. Now, I'm not so sure, because look where it got me. I'm a lot less likely to consider the feelings of others when making decisions now. I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm struggling with my divorce after nearly 8 years, I cannot imagine 21. One thing that's important in all this that I don't see pointed out, is that he kept this from you for 4 months and was content on going on vacation with you while keeping it secret. It's possible that he may have never told you and only came clean when it was possible that he gave you an STD. Which, have you been tested? He wants to reconcile, and what you need is space right now. Can he stay somewhere else? Trust that he may very well be keeping more secrets from you, because hell, he just went out and did it on a whim after you said no. I cannot imagine disrespecting your partner of 20 years like that. I can't imagine it either, which is why I'm so incredibly wrecked. I will grant it seemed he was almost obsessed with a threesome. Like this was a discussion we've been having for a few years. I was almost on board with it at certain points, but he was being far too pushy and I didn't feel I had enough control over the process, so I put the brakes on a bit. He got weird about it, so I put the brakes on full. It's entirely possible he might have kept it secret. A few years ago we had a conversation where I told him if he ever did a stupid cheat like a drunken ons kind of thing, I'd rather not know because it would wreck me and I'd just prefer he live with the guilt. He lumped this into that category. Personally, I wouldn't lump what he did into that category because of the fact that he tried it once about 4 months ago but apparently couldn't perform. Then he did it again about a month ago, and while he was able to do it, he had instant regrets and bad feelings throughout. So he says, but didn't tell me because it was my previously indicated preference. But personally I found this incredibly willful, deceitful and therefore very, very troubling. As for the vacation, we booked it before he tried it the second time. I was away with the kids for a week at scout camp. When I came back he was all in on the vacation, treating to make it extra special. I suffered a collapsed lung about 2 weeks before we were supposed to leave, which almost killed the vacation, and honestly, he wouldn't let the vacation go. We ended up taking a train to Seattle to get to the cruise port. Then on the trip he spoiled me fairly rotten. We only had sex once the entire time, which was highly unusual. Usually we would be doing something like that at least once a day, if not twice. He kept telling me he thought he had a UTI. He has told me since, telling me that he wanted to tell me but didn't know how because he knew I'd be really hurt, so he was trying to keep it in, but he supposed that in the end he would have come clean sooner or later. He was trying to make the trip special because he felt terrible and realized what a terrible thing he had done. Or so he says. The whole trip was great at the time, but I can't even think about it now. It's just so tainted. His being obsessed with it does not excuse what he did. He should have recognized that you put the brakes on the conversation and that meant for him too. To be honest, if he had instant regrets he would have told you it happened after it did, not months/s later. Instead, he wanted the vacation to happen and then told you? I don't know, that rubs me the wrong way. As for not telling you, it was fully sober sex, right? He did this twice knowing full well what he was doing if that were true. It was not a drunken one-night stand that you would prefer not to know about. I agree with you, him not telling you is deceitful. I'm sorry your trip is tainted now. I'm going through my divorce now, where we just celebrated our anniversary at Disney in June. Knowing he was hiding an affair along with various other things is so hard to look back happily at it.